Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to a multi-stream event. We are live today on the Spurs Talk Show. And, of course, we're live on Football Inc. as well. We hope you are all happy and healthy doing the things you love. We've got some stuff to talk about. Fan reaction, fan pressure, impatience. How much time does someone need before the daggers are out? Vítor Pereira has lost his job 3 weeks after signing a new contract, a new 3-year contract. Johnny H, the man sitting next to me, called it last night. I think we got a clip for it later on. I said, nah, there's no chance he's getting sacked. He's just signed a new contract. Well, I was wrong. Johnny was right on that one. But we got to talk about Thomas Frank as well. We have to talk about the fan base, the reactions. Everyone's going a little bit mental. You've got some people that have got their point scoring on one side. The angiosexuals are saying, "Told you, not grass isn't always greener. All that glitters isn't gold." You got the people that were massively Frank in and Ange out that are sitting there defending, to be honest, some of the indefensibles right now. Is the pressure mounting on Thomas Frank? Who's next on the chopping block in the Premier League? I'm here with Johnny to figure it out. Please, guys, smash a like on the video. Whichever channel you've come in on, then smash the like button. Smash the subscribe if you haven't already. If you are watching on either channel and you haven't subscribed, but you want to participate in the chat, all you got to do is hit the subscribe. It should open up immediately. If it doesn't, just refresh the thing and it will open up immediately. You haven't got to wait any time to communicate with us. We'd love to know your thoughts on this one. Notification bell button should be squeezed and comments should be dropped. Last thing I'll say is if you are coming in via one channel, at some point go across to the other one and make sure you spend some time over there and smash the like button. We'll be bringing up all the comments anyway, so you'll be a part of the conversation throughout. And last thing as well, both of these, this show will be on both Spurs Talk Show and Football Inc. on the audio platforms, the podcast things on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, all that stuff, straight after the show. So please go and search for Spurs Talk Show or Football Inc. On those platforms and give us a follow and a 5-star rating. Johnny, my man, how are you, buddy? How you feeling? Big day, and I notice you're wearing your Rangers top. A bigger day, up in Scotland.
Yeah, big day. Rangers Celtic today. How did I become a Rangers fan? There's no religion involved. I moved up to Scotland, and I got very friendly with David Robertson, who used to play left back for Rangers in the 9 in a row. And became very good friends. He got me in the blue room when Gaza signed. And I've been there ever since, really. And this was his top. This must be about 25. However old that team was: Haitley, McCoist, Gaza.
That's who's top?
David Robertson.
Amazing.
Played left back. I've had this in the cupboard for years, but I thought I'd get it out today because Football Inc. If you're watching on Football Inc., you'll understand because we have teams to follow and we wear different shirts all the time. On Spurs Talk Show, you probably wonder what the hell's going on.
Quickly, guys, there's a lot of people joining the chat right now. We're getting out of the traps early. The numbers are growing quite quickly. So please do, as I say, just make sure you spend a little bit of time on Football Inc. and smash the subscribe. And if you also came in via Football Inc. and you want to subscribe to a Spurs channel specifically, and you haven't already, then Spurs Talk Show. I'll be dropping the links in to make it easier for you. But let's start, Johnny. Where should we start, mate?
Well, look, let's start on the pressure for fans, or is it just society we live in where we need instant gratification? Somehow or other, after we lost Conte, Ange came in, and those first 10 games unbeaten really gave him sort of a carte blanche to do what he wants. He was almost untouchable for a large proportion of the 2 years he was there, despite losing 34 games. And then we fast forward, he leaves Spurs, he then goes to Forest, and he doesn't get a chance to turn it around, doesn't get a chance to do anything, really. even with his, I always do it in my second year, I was winning my second year. He barely got second month. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And, and then you look at Pereira, the madness of Pereira, getting a 3-year contract, having lost his opening 4 games, which is madness. Then we have the outside press, not the Liverpool fans, but the outside press questioning whether whether Arne Slot is facing the sack, having lost 5 of his 6 games on the trot. Mad.
And he's got wins in the bank, though, Johnny, right?
He's got wins in the bank, and yesterday he turned it round. And now, after yesterday's, let's be honest, it was a disgraceful performance. But everyone deserves a slice of the blame pie, Shaw. Everyone. The manager, the players, all of them, right?
Do the fans deserve a slice of the blame, mate? Because this is the narrative this morning, right?
Well, the booing. I'll just finish, to finish.
Yeah.
I've seen quite a lot of comments from neutral fans, and they've said to me, what is it about your fans? I watch your games and I see more booing from Spurs fans than any other group. And I turned around to him and I said, look, mate, this is how it is. Since November the 3rd, right, 2024, we've won 4 games at home, 20 Premier League games. Just take that in. And I was with yesterday.
Graham being charged the most money, or relatively the most money, right? Relatively. I know there's certain stands in certain places that are a bit more expensive, but generally speaking, we're at the very top end of costing to go to see a game.
Yeah, I was speaking to yesterday, Graham Roberts, Chivers, and David Howes, and I said to them, do you ever remember a run of home games like this, where we only won 4 home games in 20, and they couldn't think when that last happened? I'm sure someone maybe in the chat can dig it out, but I don't.
You have to go back to the 80s, but that season when
maybe when we went down. I don't.
When we went down, probably it.
But so there is some justification, right, for booing and being disillusioned, which is why the atmosphere has been so shit, because we go there in hope, but really in the thought that, is this just going to be another bad performance? And this isn't just about Thomas Frank, guys. Okay, Thomas Frank has presided over 4 home games in the Premier League? 5 home games.
Yeah, and 2 in the cup. And let's
be honest, I'm talking about in the Premier League.
It all rounds in. We won convincingly against Doncaster, but we played pathetic football. We won against Villarreal, but we were pathetic that day as well.
Yeah, against the team second in the La Liga. But what I was going to say was, so Thomas Frank has lost 5, right? This year, he lost 15.
Johnny, can you turn your phone on mute, mate? Is that possible?
Yes. Sorry, mate. 15. 15. Ange lost last year. Since November, since the end of mid-November, he lost 15 games. And Frank has lost 5. This isn't just about Thomas Frank. This is about a malaise coming to the stadium. I don't know what it is. They come to the stadium. The fans have got a nice pitch. The dressing rooms are plush and beautiful. And they seem to bloody relish coming in and playing the game. Look, I'm not making any excuse for yesterday's performance, because there is none. But Frank needs to take the blame. But there were plenty of players on that pitch yesterday who need to take the blame as well. They were absolutely shambolic, right? The manager gives the instructions, but the players have to instigate them. And you can't tell me that there was players out there yesterday that come out of that without some sort of criticism.
No, 100%. 100%. I think we spoke quite a lot about that last night. There's nobody in the team that really gets any plaudits from me. Even Vicario, like he was brilliant with his shot stopping once again. But like I said, I think a lot of the times he's required to pull out a worldie. He's actually part of the reason why we have to face that situation in the first place. But ultimately, he's keeping the ball out the back of the net for the most part. And so, you take the bitter with the better. The rest of them, to a man, not good enough. What I would say, though, mate, is what I'm seeing right now is look, I think there's a lot of fans that are saying things like, it's unacceptable to be unhappy. Or if you are, it's okay to be unhappy, but you have to support the team anyway. Like, let's be honest, mate. If you put in a stinker at your job, or if I did, or if anyone watching this put in a stinker at their job, you're not going to get the plaudits. Your boss is not going to be happy with you. You don't have like a cheering set of fans that are, doing this to you when you make a sale or when you save a client or whatever. But you're going to get the pressure. You're going to get the relevant version of pressure when you're not doing a good job, and you're going to get the relevant version of plaudits when you do, whether that's a pat on the back, whether that's a bonus check, whatever. If you do a good job, you're going to get recognized in some regard, and if you do a bad job, you're going to get your own version of shit. And I don't think that it's look go back. It's been around forever, mate. Any kind of like fan experience led endeavor. You go back to the gladiators. If the fighter puts in a bad shift, they get the booze, and the geezer puts his thumb down and he loses his life for it. Like, nothing's changed. It's experience-led endeavours. Fans pay their money to go and watch it. It costs a fortune to go and watch Tottenham play.
I'm not saying it. Listen, I'm not saying anything. But this call for Frank to be sacked immediately, we're sat in fourth fucking place. We don't have any creative midfielder. The creative midfielder that we signed ain't cutting the mustard right now. I'm not saying he ain't ever going to cut the mustard, but come on. He's looking like a lightweight. He's getting pushed off the ball. That's probably why they played Berghvall in the middle of the park, or started to, because he's got more physicality than Xavi. But, come on, guys. These are the same guys. What I don't understand is all the people that are saying we can't start the season with this thing. We got no hope with this attack. Right, we got no hope without Maddison and Kulu in the middle of the park. We've got 3 or 4 players in a defence. That's all we've got. Those same players who highlighted those issues that are going to handicap us and say we'll be lucky to finish top half of the table are the same people who are chastising Thomas Frank when we're sat in 4th place and saying there are now no excuses for the shit.
We are 4th place. We are 2 points from 11th.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just stating where we are.
The league is on a knife edge. Like, a couple more defeats. You lose to United. If you lose to Arsenal, which is probably likely at this stage,
yeah,
right, then you could easily be bottom half of the table. It's too early to look at the table and use that as an excuse, in my opinion. I've seen people saying if we're 4th and everybody below us is in even more of a crisis. There's 2 points separating 11th from 4th place. It's that tight. But it should be tight because it's that early in the season. There's only 30 points that's been available to be won. What I would say is also those people that are sitting there. This is my problem right now. I'm not Frank out. Of course I'm not Frank out. But I was never like wildly Frank in for what it's worth. I was Ange out because I had enough. Not because I cared so much about the style of football. I didn't like his double speak. If people remember my takes, I just didn't like that. I couldn't trust the manager that always wanted to find excuses. Hang on, John, one second. For me, the challenge is that the fan narrative right now, there's a hell of a lot of point scoring. Everyone, if you're violently on the it's shit and it's unacceptable, you can find reasons to kind of manipulate the data, manipulate the story to make yourself out to be right and dismiss the reasonable takes on the other side. Same on the other side of the coin as well. But for those people that sit there and say, what do you expect? The squad is terrible. First of all, the squad is absolutely far from terrible. Most people say we need a striker, we need a left winger, and the latest kind of hole that has been exposed since the start of the season that wasn't really it wasn't a priority on anybody's lips during the summer. By the way, nobody was talking about.
We talking about fit squad, Sean.
Because I'm talking about the 11 that we're putting out right now. The 11 that we're putting out the 11 they're putting out right now. Nobody was talking about the fact that we needed a box-to-box midfielder in the summer. A couple of people said, yeah, we could improve on it, but it wasn't the priority. A left winger and a striker was, and then people were pivoting to backup replacements for left-sided centre-back. Even those people that are violently towards this narrative of Thomas Frank hasn't got any options, look how terrible the squad is, what they're ultimately saying is that we are 3 players short. So what that is, there's 8 players. So 85% of our team, of our first 11, even right now with the injuries we have, are more than appropriate, more than capable. Hey, no, Johnny,
that's rubbish, mate. That's rubbish.
So what? So we haven't got one of the best right backs in the Premier League.
No, mate. We don't have 85%, right? Because some of those players, Maddison gets in the team, Kulu gets in the team, Solanke gets in the team, right? There are other players that
I'm talking about
plus the signings,
I'm talking about the narrative that our squad is incapable. Like people that are saying you can't have a go at Thomas Frank because this squad is shit. So what else do you expect? The squad and the team are not shit. We have one of the best right backs in the Premier League. We have one of the best, arguably one of the best passers in the world, one of the best centre backs in the game at right-sided centre back. We have one of the best left-sided centre backs in the game. We have two options at left back that are more than capable, and most teams would wet themselves to get hold of a Destiny Udogie or a Jed Spence at left back. We have Polinia, one of the best sixes in the game. We have Kudus, one of the best right wingers in the Premier League, the best statistical right winger in the Premier League. We got a player in Xavi Simons. Yes, he hasn't settled in yet. He's playing in the 10, who everybody in Europe was after. Chelsea wanted him, but they couldn't quite get him into their squad because they were too busy with other things. This narrative that our first 11 right now is incapable of anything more than what we're seeing is a load of fucking bollocks, Johnny.
Well,
a load of bollocks perpetrated by people that want to create narratives to make out like their opinion about Thomas Frank is right.
I'm not. How can I be creating a narrative? Everyone's
not you.
All these people are complaining about their players. Johnson, shit. This one, shit. Tel, not good enough. Odegaard, not good enough. This one, not good enough. Right? And yet, these are the same people that are saying Thomas Frank should be doing this. What I don't understand is the guys had no time to get. He's had one transfer window. And we're seeing absolute meltdown. Some of the things that I've seen online are just beyond belief, right? Like horrendous, right? Horrendous narrative. Am I happy? I go home and away, right? I'm not happy to watch. I'm not happy to watch this football, but I just don't know. I mean, I really don't know what to do. Richarlison's miles off it, right? Tel's miles off it. Johnson's miles off it. Johnson's first touch when he came on yesterday was, well, I won't say it was the touch of a you-know-what.
Yeah, a graper. Yeah.
All over the place. Right? The runs were terrible. Richarlison didn't win a single header in the air. There's so much wrong with it. Listen, without Cuti Romero, we win 27% of our game, right? We're not as good without Cuti Romero. I hear all the players saying that Micky van der Ven is 5 times the player of Cuti Romero. But let me tell you.
So let me put this argument to you then. Let me put this argument to you then. If the argument is true that is being perpetuated by people who are staunchly defending Thomas Frank at this stage, and by the way, I'm not Thomas Frank in or I don't care. I'm indifferent. I wasn't that blown away by his appointment. I wasn't a fan of Ange, as I said, as Ange Postecoglou, not because I didn't appreciate his attempts at football, because I fell out of love with the fact that he was always talking out of both sides of his mouth. Put that stuff to one side for a split second. If the argument is being perpetuated by people that are staunchly in defense of where we're at and what we're seeing, and that Thomas Frank shouldn't get as much criticism as he is by other people, isn't the argument that the squad isn't good enough something that they forgot when they were throwing Ange Postecoglou under the bus for the last 2 years? Because this squad is better than what Ange Postecoglou had.
Hang on a second.
And if you're talking about the 27, hang on 1 second, let me finish the sentence. If you're talking about the 27% ratio, the threshold of Romero, and when we play better, we win when Romero's in the squad, all that stuff, which I hear you on. Ange Postecoglou was without Romero for a lot longer periods, relatively, in the amount of games that Thomas Frank has been without Romero. But yet people were like they were incandescent with rage.
Hang on a second, right? This is a guy who got 4 transfer windows, right? Spent £350 million. His talent ID was shocking, right?
But he got that squad, and Thomas Frank has the same squad, but a better version of it.
He's got half of it missing. £350 million he spent on that squad, right? Are we going to forget? Last year's 26 defeats or 22 defeats in the league? finishing 17th. Can we forget that? No.
But the conversations about the performances more than the results.
Yes, I know, but listen, we lost 2 games to Chelsea at home under Ange Postecoglou. We conceded 8 goals in 2 games. Right? That seems to have been forgotten. I'm not saying this is good because it isn't, right? I'm not saying the squad's good enough because it isn't. But you can't say sack the manager after 13 games. I don't get it. I just don't get I just don't get
anyone that's saying that. I completely concur with you. But the criticism is valid because we've gone out of the frying pan into the fire. We pivoted from one extreme to the other, and ultimately, I just want to see balance, and of course you never do. But I think that there is so much hypocrisy going on in the fan base right now. The point scoring and the incapability to see another person's perspective is palpable to a level that I haven't seen. And people are defending the indefensible without realizing that the one thing that they're holding up as their argument as to why this other side are wrong is the same argument that they forgot about, which is why they were saying that Ange Postecoglou was a nightmare and needed to be sacked.
It wasn't just that. He was bullshitting. Hang on. Ange Postecoglou attacked the fans, called out the fans, lied. I mean, I could go on and on and on, right? This is, but for everyone to sit there and say, unless Frank wins a trophy, he's no good, right? Because Ange won a trophy. And we sacked Ange after he won a trophy. That's the narrative of some people. 100%, everyone is entitled to criticise Thomas Frank. I criticise Thomas Frank because it's not good enough, right? But there's a difference between that and sacking. This is sacking, mate. Sacking, right?
Of course. I'm not involved in that. I'm nowhere near there.
Should Ange Postecoglou have been sacked from Nottingham Forest? He's just come into the job, right? I'll flip it, right? I don't believe, as much as I'm not an Ange Postecoglou fan, I don't believe he should have been sacked by Nottingham Forest. They got rid of Nuno. He believed in him, but the fan pressure drove him out very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. Why should he have been sacked? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The Pereira got a new contract, but he came in, I think it was December 2024. He saved them. I think he came in, they were 18th or something. He's come in, he saved them. They come in the first 4 games of the season, they don't win. Yet the board decided to give him a new 3-year contract. And as I said yesterday, before the game on Saturday, when we did Friday, when we did our predictions, that if he loses, he's going to get sacked because of the fan pressure. We saw the fans engaging him, shouting at him in the previous game. Has it become, because we are a society that can't wait for anything and we want instant gratification, that the ball gets scared and sacks everyone? Oh, look, everyone is open for criticism. I'm not saying that nobody should be criticising Thomas Frank, because they should be, right? Or any of the players. But there's a difference between criticism and sacking someone. If you haven't performed in your job, I'm going to come in the morning and say, you were poor yesterday. You've got to do better, right? But I'm not going to sack him straight away. I'm not going to sack them straight away. And I just think, look at all the narrative in the press. Is Arne Slot up for the sack? He's lost 5 of his 6 games. Has he lost the fan base? Has he lost the players? And then, I hear some of the fan base, starting to turn against the guy. The very guy who brought them so much success and fantastic football, scintillating football last year. But we both said right before the window closed that Liverpool have made a huge mistake. They spent £450 million and have not addressed the one area they desperately needed, which was 2 centre-backs. They bought Leone, who unfortunately got an ACL, but they never got Mark Gahey and Sol Konsa. So they were always going to be susceptible at the back. But would you sack the manager for that? Was that not this is what I'm saying.
Because Arne Slot has... If this was Arne Slot's first season, I still don't think you'd sack him, But I think that if last season hadn't happened and Arne Slot came in, this was his first season and he lost 5 on the bounce, I think Liverpool fans would be apoplectic.
We had it with Nuno.
And rightly so, because expectations meet reality. And Liverpool losing 5 on the bounce, or 4 out of 5, whatever it was, that is an unacceptable level of outcome to Liverpool fans who were used to seeing a combination of attractive football that actually gets them at the top end, and with all the money that's been spent. Let's not forget, by the way, that we have spent a lot of money via Ange Postecoglou, but Thomas Frank was the recipient of players that are 2 years more advanced than what Ange Postecoglou inherited. I said at the time, the guy, before I knew Ange was going to be the guy, whoever it was, I said, when Conte leaves, I said, whoever it is that's after Conte, whoever that guy is going to be the guy before the guy, because Tottenham have made a pivot, a violent shift towards youth-centric, and we're going out and apparently buying the best 18 and 19-year-olds in the game. But those kids are not going to be ready yet. The next 2 years later, Thomas Frank has brought these players in. And I think it's not beyond the realms of reason to sit there and say, is it acceptable as a Tottenham fan? Again, Liverpool fans used to expecting to be at the very top end. Tottenham fans maybe not expecting to be right at the very top, but Tottenham fans have a different minimum level of expectation, and that is to not necessarily set up. Hang on, are Tottenham fans? Is it okay for Tottenham fans to expect a manager to set up not to lose?
Well, it's a question, isn't it? It's a question.
That's what he's doing. He's setting up to not lose, right?
Listen, look, the thing is, we would have sacked with the way social media is right now, and it's really escalated to where we are today. Pochettino could possibly have been sacked. Very, very much so. He could have easily been sacked because he started terribly. He didn't start well. He didn't start well at all. Alex Ferguson would 100% have been sacked by now. The way
in this generation,
Alex Ferguson would never have been given the chance to turn it around. 100%. And let me tell you, Ruben Amorim, look at the start he had under Man United with all the players. You know, look at his players. Look how much they all cost. Right? Everyone was saying, look at abundance of talent. He couldn't string a win together. It went on and on and on and on. Yet somehow Jim Ratcliffe said, I'm going to give him 3 years. Now, I'm not saying you have to give Thomas Frank 3 years to prove himself, but this sort of, I don't know, it's like a crusade. I woke up this morning, my timeline is just full of clueless manager, championship manager at best, hasn't got a clue what he's doing.
Are you seeing play? Last question. In fact, you know what? Let me pause right now because I've got some super chats, Johnny, for both of us.
Let's do
and then we'll come back and do and carry on with this conversation. I love it, by the way. There's fire between us today. I love it, guys. Let's do some super. Please do smash the like button on both videos. I'll be throwing the links in the comment section. Please get over to Football Link if you've come in via Spurs Talk Show. Appreciate you, Ulrika Johnson. Big up to you, Ulrika. Car. Hope you're okay, love. Let's get the sticker train started, shall we? Chew to you, Ulrika. Thank you very much indeed. Hope you're okay, miss. Bantry, come on, you Spurs. Bantry, course, big up to you as well. Another super sticker. Chew to you, Bantry. Really appreciate you. Hope you're okay wherever you are in the world. Let us know. We'll pick you up on the choo-choo train. A users come in saying, we can solve this. Bring our Levy back. I mean, listen, if Daniel Levy, Johnny, was in charge, was still here, Thomas Frank would have less pressure on him. Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. We'll bring that back in a minute. Big up to you, user. We'll bring that back in. Daniel Field, a super sticker of you. Chew to you, Daniel. Thank you very much, my man. We appreciate you very much indeed. Mark Lambert, big up to you. Mark Lambert 2863, big up to you, buddy. Wherever you are, let us know. In Australia, we will pick you up as well. Are you in Sydney? Are you in Melbourne, Victoria? Are you in New South Wales? Where are you? Let me know. We'll come and see you. Toby Juan Kenobi-san, big up to you. He says, Frank hasn't had a transfer window since Levy. This is the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
He will get carte blanche in the summer, hopefully, not Jan. Then we can judge fairly. I'm going to bring Daniel Levy in. This is a really nice little segue here. By the way, we do have other things to talk about. We've got to talk about Pereira as well, because this is all part of the show. This is just the starting section of it. And a super sticker as well from Toby Juan as well. Thank you very much, Toby. Choo-choo to you, buddy. Let us know where we're picking you up from. I don't know where you're from, buddy, but maybe you're up in the Star Wars somewhere. Maybe you're on a different star system. Johnny, that's interesting, actually. Thomas Frank hasn't had a Levy-less window. Are we giving Daniel Levy credit for the window? Some fans that give Daniel Levy credit for the one, or the criticism for missing out on Eze, but they give him none of the credit for the ones we did sign. So where do you sit?
Look, Eze was a huge ball drop. I'm going to hear all these people, Spurs fans, saying we dodged the bullet. Honestly, you're talking absolute twaddle. He's exactly what this club needed. A guy who demands the ball, gets on the ball. He would have been an absolute godsend for us, because Xavi right now ain't cutting the mustard. Look, Sean, it's the last thing I'm going to say about this, right? We were leaking goals for fun. We couldn't win a game, okay? We lost 26 games, right? And Thomas Frank came in and said, the first thing I've got to do is stop us leaking goals. Because if we don't concede goals, we can't lose games. Second of all, our set pieces, both defensively and offensively, are a shambles. Okay? I need to fix it. Now, I guess setting up not to lose is part of not conceding goals as a base. If you're building the foundations and every great team is built upon a solid defense. Okay. We didn't have a solid defense. We had solid defenders, but the system wasn't built for us to defend. And I just feel that this is just the first layer on the cake, as the foundations. He's actually stated this. So I understand why people quite rightly turn around and say, look at this. We're not trying to win. We're trying not to lose. No, we're trying not to concede goals. And from that, hoping we get, breaks and what have you. It's not what I want to see ultimately. But if this is the beginning of the plan, if this is the beginning of the transition into building the base, look, we haven't had a great defense since Toby and Jan. I think we can all accept that, right? You look at Arsenal.
No, hang on. You think our defense isn't solid?
No, I didn't. No, it wasn't. It was not solid beforehand. No, we conceded 66 goals and 67 goals
because of the style of play, but the caliber of players.
Well, that's what I just said. No, but
Romero better than Alderweireld?
No, that's not what I said, Sean. I said you can have great defenders, but if the system's no good, right? So you've got to change the entire system. So you have to start with that. You can't say we were great at defending set pieces because we didn't stop conceding from them. Or scoring from them. So what I'm saying is that's what he's addressed there. I don't believe we've had this good a defence since Toby and Jan. And when you look at Arsenal, right, with Saliba, Gabriel and the backup, right, that defence is unbelievable. And that's the defence that's going to win them the title. It isn't going to be Victor Gyökeres or Trossard or Martinelli that's going to win them the title. It's going to be that defence. And whilst I hate watching that type of football that we played yesterday, hopefully it's the start. No one wants to see that shit. No one.
I just think that for me, this isn't about my frustration this morning. Isn't really about. I'm kind of like the football yesterday was horrendous.
Yeah,
but I think the amount of point scoring that's going on in the fan base right now, with agending, people not willing to ingratiate themselves into the idea that there's more than one way to skin a cat and there's more than one way to view, to lens an opinion. I think it's madness, and it's just people saying, no, you're wrong, you're delusional, I'm right, and here's the why, and I'll skew the narrative to fit the metric that I want people to believe. And I think that it's happening in every corner. It's happening all over Twitter, all over YouTube, on both sides of the Oki. But I think two things can be true at the same time. Like, Tottenham fans have a right to be frustrated with the football that's being shown. They have a right to be able to sit there and boo the players. The players have to sort of I don't know, like, figure it out that they're only getting paid the nice money that they're getting paid, and they're able to sleep with the beautiful birds and live in the 10-bedroom mansion because of the players, because of the fans paying their way through either Sky Sports subscriptions or through going to the season, getting season tickets or otherwise, or buying the shirts with their names on the back. If they're not delivering, they have every right to boo. The players have to wake up, and like everybody needs to sit there and say, two things can be true at the same time. You need to be patient because Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's difficult in this day and age to be patient with the Netflix generation and the Amazon delivery generation. But Thomas Frank and the players need to do more, Johnny. And ultimately, every single manager that's ever been sacked might have been saying the right things in the dressing room. But if the players are not buying into it and not putting it into play on the football pitch, you can't sack 25 players. So, like, Thomas Frank might not be responsible. Even if you were to indulge this narrative that somehow 2 or 3 players not being good enough in our front line equals why we're playing as badly as we are, which I think is absolute bollocks. I think it's absolute bullshit. We have more than enough caliber of quality to do more than we are. It's an inane argument in my opinion. But even if that's true, the reality is that the manager is responsible for performance. That's it.
Where's the line, Sean? Where's the line? Where is the line? Where is the line? What is the line here? What we give another 2 games? I mean, everyone looked at the fixture list. This is another narrative, right? The draw comes up for Newcastle all over the internet, right? Oh, we got no chance in that one. They're too good away from home. That's all I saw. And then we get beaten. We're shit, right? Then you look at the narrative of the fixtures. When the fixture list came out and they saw Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United, PSG, right? They're all going, well, we're not going to get any points out of that. That's going to be a real tough one. Where is the line, Sean? Where do we draw the line? Where is the line that's acceptable? For me, it's 1 year. You've got to give the guy just over a year, in my opinion, to put his stamp on it or give him a chance.
If things don't improve, Johnny, 1 year's all he's going to get, because you know who becomes available in about 8 months' time, don't you?
Yeah, Marco Silva.
Pochettino.
I know.
Right? Pochettino, people were
He's having a good time out in America, isn't he?
No, exactly. Well, this is the thing, right? Is he really the guy?
What you wish for, Sean?
Be careful what you wish for, 100%. But Thomas Frank was supposed to be the geezer that's got plan A, B, C, D, and E up his sleeve. He's supposed to be the pivotal guy. He's supposed to be the guy that can pivot from left to right. He's got 4 or 5 different ideas. You know, to me, he hasn't shown them yet. He hasn't shown any of them. We've set up defensively, and I'm all for it. Making ourselves solid at the back, building a baseline. I'm all for it. I'm all for dialing up the incremental percentage points, mate, on set pieces. But if they're not working, you have to have something else about your football team. And if go on,
it's bonkers, mate. It's just bonkers, right? You know, I said fans wanting to sack Iraola. He didn't have 1 win in his first 10 games. He didn't have a win in his first 10. Oliver Glasner won his first one and then lost 5 on the trot. In this fan base, right?
That is Bournemouth and that's Crystal Palace, which until recently were thought of as lesser teams, right?
Hey, and if he'd have done it here, and come into this club and lost 5 on the trot, we would be listening to exactly the same as what we're listening to now. And if Iraola, who everyone, including myself, rates as a real top coach,
I agree with you on that.
This club and didn't win a game for 10 games, his first 10 games, he'd be out the club. Simple as that.
Again, I'm not advocating for any of this extremism. Anyone that's saying Frank out is a bozo, in my opinion. No disrespect if you feel that way, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're a bozo as a person. I'm just saying I think it's a bozo opinion because, like, what we spoke is we're 4th in the league. We're 4th in the league, right? There is only 2 points that separates 4th from 11th, so it can turn on a knife edge. You know, if we lose to United and we lose to Arsenal, we could easily be bottom half of the table before the international break. Right, and that would over the international break, and that's problematic. So I'm not in any way advocating for any extreme opinions. I think all extreme opinions are always they're always fraught with difficulty in my mind. But those opinions, the moderate opinion doesn't sell. Johnny, let's pivot a little bit.
Pereira. Should we talk about
Pereira? Yeah.
Listen, talk about Pereira, right? I mean, he got 2 points from 30. So, in all honesty, he needed to go. The fact that one of those 2 points came against us and we only got a late equaliser, was but he took over from Gary O'Neill, and he was sacked. I think it was 2-1. Now, do you remember when Gary O'Neill was lauded as a genius coach when he went on Monday Night Football and showed everyone how he beat Ange Postecoglou? He went out and he put the tactics on the board. This is how they play. This is how I know how to negate them and expose them. And that's what he did. And he didn't do it once. He did it twice. And Wolves became our bogey team under Gary O'Neill. Yet he went from having a really good season to finishing 19th. And he got sacked. I'm trying to remember how long he lasted in the job. He was there August 2023 to December 2024. Since Nuno was there from 2017 to 2021. He was probably the last top manager that they had, Wolves, Sean. Yeah. He was there 4 years. He had them playing unbelievable football. And I think they finished 7th in the league. And they said he left by mutual consent. Do managers get stale in their relationships after 4 years? Because since he left Nuno, they've had Bruno Lage, who lasted 5 minutes. He didn't last very long. Gary O'Neill, who lasted sort of a year in 3 or 4 months. And Pereira, who is less than a year, 11 months. And now they're back.
Can we just have a quick look at Wolves' form? This is not just a this season form for Pereira, right?
Yeah.
Look at, from May last year, they lost to Man City. They lost to Brighton. They lost to Palace. They drew with Brentford. Then in the pre-season friendlies, I know they're irrelevant, but we'll bring them up.
This was before, after they more or less was safe that these results came, because he did.
Okay, but if we're gonna make that argument, then couldn't you make the same argument for Ange Postecoglou? It's just consistency. But Stoke drew in the pre-season. They lost to Lens. They lost to Girona. They lost to Celta Vigo. Then in the season started, they lost to Man City. They lost to Bournemouth. They beat West Ham just in the cup. They lost to Everton. They lost to Newcastle. They lost to Leeds. They beat Everton in the cup. The cup. They drew with Tottenham, and they were very good on the day for what it's worth. I thought they drew with Brighton. They lost to Sunderland. They lost to Burnley. They lost to Chelsea in the cup. They lost to Fulham.
They gave him a 4-year
contract following on from last season.
They lost. They gave him a 3-year contract after the 4th defeat.
Yeah.
We did it on the show, guys. If you are watching and you've come across from a Football Link for the first time, please hit the subscribe button. Young growing channel.
Let me get the links.
Young growing channel, and if you could hit the like and the subscribe button. Obviously, a lot of Spurs fans, but if you're not a Spurs fan, tell us who you support and where you're from. We've got people from all over the world watching. If you're on Football Link, get over to Spurs Talk Show and give that one a like.
Hey guys, if you are on Spurs Talk Show, we talk about Tottenham quite a lot, but we all talk about all sports as well. Please, there's like 680 people here across both channels. Please go over to Football Link and smash the sub, and I'll put the Spurs Talk Show in as well. But main priority is getting the guys from the Spurs Talk Show across to Football Link. But listen, Pereira, mate, he did just get a new contract. I can't believe he got a new contract. I don't know why he got it. If they were four losses in,
we did it on the show.
It's only 2 defeats later, and they've sacked him. That must be a £12 million mistake.
Look, we spoke about it. How do you give a guy a 3-year contract? We were laughing about it. Why would you do that? Why? What sane bald? You would give him maybe a 1-year extension with a 2-year option, potentially, especially when you've had that run that you've just highlighted there of defeats, one after the other. Why would you give him that? Why would you give him that contract? The question now is, who is available for them to go to?
I'd imagine that they're going to get him. By the way, I would imagine that you might find like a South American manager or something come across. You might find someone that you haven't heard of, right? I wouldn't be surprised if they were to go and find a new. Huh?
How about the Boda manager?
Yeah, maybe someone like him. Maybe someone like the Bruges manager, the Brugge manager. Maybe someone that's doing a bit in Europe. I think that Wolves operate in a certain way. Do you think there's any chance that these rumours of John Textor buying into Wolves? Anything about that? That maybe that this story is like, happening at the same time, Johnny's happening at the same time?
Could be. So who do we know? Are you saying the Botafogo manager could suddenly become Wolves manager?
Or Gallardo from River Plate, something like that?
Oh my God, my number one manager. Number one was Arne Slot, number two was Gallardo, and number three was Ruben Amorim when Conte left.
Wouldn't surprise me if a South American manager that's doing bits comes into the Premier League via Wolves. They seem to have that connection to Portuguese. They had it with George. I think it was George Mendes was the super agent. I think it was him that was responsible for facilitating all of those players coming in from Portugal into Wolves, having a year or two there, then pissing off elsewhere for bigger and better things. If there's, like I said before on Football Inc. to you, Johnny, as much as I would say to Wolves fans, like, steer clear of John Textor because he's got so much debt up to his eyeballs. If there is a football club that would benefit from his system of bringing these like wealthy, bringing amazing players across from South America into the Premier League, Wolves would be the perfect club to do it.
Sam Boy says Ten Hag.
Ten Hag.
Yeah. Well, he was Eric 3 weeks, wasn't he?
You wouldn't see Ange Postecoglou going back, would you?
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine Ange at Wolves?
I mean, look, you get them playing the right football again, but it's just I think his whole model's been completely found out at this level.
Listen, I like Andre at Wolves. I like João Gomez at Wolves. I like
They've got lots of great players, mate. They've got lots of top players.
I like Strand Larsen, but they sold El Nouri, they sold Matheus Cunha, their two best players, and they didn't really do anything. Signing Strand Larsen onto a contract when he wanted to go, when he really wanted to go, didn't want to stay. I don't know, but I don't. Yeah.
I got John Arias as well. What a player he is, by the way, quality player.
Yeah,
he won't be there long. He won't be there long if they continue to struggle. Do you think Wolves can turn it around under a new manager? Listen, I guess at the kind of like the pointy end of the wedge, mate. Like, you have to kind of recognise that they are bottom of the table with 2 points after 10 games. They need to get things moving in the right direction now. And I think maybe it's a brave decision. They screwed up giving the guy a new contract. It's going to cost them a lot of money to pay him off. But ultimately, if he's lost the dressing room and they are a team that is far better than 2 points from 10, far better than that. And so maybe it's the right time, because if they wait any longer, then they run out of sort of time in the sandbox.
I think it's we didn't think this season. Those who watch us on Football Inc. will know this, but Sean and I both said that we thought that Sunderland would do very well this season. I had an Arias as well. We thought the Leeds and Burnley might stay up, and there might be three new contenders. I know Leeds and Burnley, aren't winning loads of games. But are we seeing the signs that West Ham and Wolves are going to start to get cut adrift? Although, as you said, there's only like 9 games. We've only played a quarter of the season, really, at the moment. So there's 3 quarters to go. Are we too early talking about teams getting cut off? We had this conversation last year, but nothing changed.
If that ratio continues, they're going to finish the league on 8 points.
Yeah.
Right, which is one of the worst performing teams in the Premier League history.
So they're not really that bad.
Only right that they turn it on. They have
I
to
don't
make a
think
change. But I don't know who the right guy to come in is. Big Sam Allardyce? Do you just give someone a short-term contract? I'd imagine they'll give someone a short-term contract right now. Like they'll probably bring someone in to try and shore them up, to get them out of trouble, whoever that is, and then say, we'll look again in the summer if we stay up. But if Wolves go down, they might be a team that doesn't come back up again for a couple of years because all of their best players will leave. And the whole South American thing will dry up because why would the South Americans want to come over to play in the Championship?
Well, listen, look, the thing is, what have you got to lose if you come over and you take on the Wolves job? Most people would say you're on a hiding to nothing. It's going to be a real struggle to get them out. So if somehow you pull off a miracle, okay, and you turn this team around, your credibility and in your stock goes sky high. And if you fail, you'll just be another one in the long list. So when you go for another job, yeah, but I tried the job. Look who else failed. He failed, right? I was just one in a long list. It was a poison chalice. I just wanted to try and prove myself. So, it's a tough one. Listen, West Ham today, huge game for them against Newcastle. If they suddenly win this game today, which is going to be tough for them, but if they do, then the noise dies down a little bit. I think Nuno's gone in there, knowing full well he's got a really, really tough task. I mean, he was sitting there scratching his head the last two games, like a guy that looks totally puzzled. What have I done? What have I got myself into? I don't know if I've got the answers to this. But you look at the players, Somerville, Jared Bowen, Paqueta, Wan-Bissaka at the back. They should be doing better than what they are, but they're not. They're not. But on a lot of teams, Sean, I look below Spurs right now, and below Spurs, we have Manchester City, we have Newcastle, we have Villa, we have Manchester United.
By a point, mate. They're a point behind them.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, if our Spurs fans entitled, do we have an entitlement that we should be? We haven't won the title since 1960. We've won one European trophy in 40 years, and we haven't won a domestic cup for 17, 18 years. I know what I want to do. I know what I want to achieve. But as you quite rightly point out many, many times, how many teams have won trophies in the last 15 years? How many clubs?
Yeah, none. I think in the last 25 years, I think it's 13 teams. Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Tottenham, Leicester, the Big Five, and then Swansea, Birmingham, Portsmouth, Middlesbrough, I think, and one other. And most of those teams have won one trophy. Tottenham and Leicester have won two. This is domestic.
Yeah.
And actually, no, Tottenham. Tottenham haven't won two. Tottenham have won one domestic. Sorry, that's a European trophy.
Yeah.
And then the other five have won the rest between them. So, yeah, it's not easy. But I think that if Tottenham lose to Manchester United on the weekend, and then we go on international break, and then we come back and we lose to Arsenal, we can easily find ourselves in the bottom half of the table, or 10th or 11th.
Oh, yeah, I think we will.
And then the pressure will be mounting up. Like if the pressure is there already, then yeah, look, whether it's entitlement, expectation, bare minimum, it doesn't. I don't know what it is. I think that there's just a happy medium between what we're seeing with Ange. But it's like we've gone from the pendulum has swung from gung ho football to like Bonnie Blue to Mother Teresa. My man Pete said it brilliantly. Like that's our football, right? We are open, like open the door, do what you want, ram us home, or we shut up shop and then we hope to sort of nick a win via a set piece. And I think that there has to be some sort of middle ground. Like you have to be able to play attractive football. But you know what I would say? There has to be some level of appreciation from players like Xavi. They come in with big expectations, big price tag, big skill levels. But and I think he's a victim of this. I think Florian Wirtz is a victim of this. I think there are players that play in the 10. It's less obvious when you're playing as a striker and you're the recipient of other people's progressive football. Like Nick Voltemade doesn't necessarily have to be involved in every part of the play. He can hold the ball up very well, but he's very, very good at finishing. But the finishing thing is different. If you're playing in the 10, if you're playing in the midfield, people like Florian Wirtz and Xavi Simons have to recognise that in the Premier League you don't get anywhere near as much time as you used to, as you do in the Bundesliga. And I think that when they wake up and get up with the program on that, then I think a lot of things will look a little bit better. But I'm not saying that Xavi Simons is the problem necessarily. People tell me that Bentancur is a brilliant player. I don't think he is. I really don't. I never have. But when you see, in fact, I want to bring this to your attention, Johnny. Because I went hard on Thomas Frank last night, and one of the things I said, just quickly, was that Lucas Berghvall. I said there's no way that you're going to convince me that Tottenham had a plan, and that Lucas Berghvall's injury in 4 or 5 minutes into the game upset that plan to the point where bringing on Xavi Simons meant that all of our preparation went out of the window. I slept on it. I woke up this morning and I thought about it and thought, actually, Tottenham were trying to do something yesterday that we didn't actually see the material output of because we only got 4 minutes of it. But it was either a 4-2-2-2 or it was a 4-1-2-1-2. And I think that Lucas Berghvall's absence may have actually shifted and pivoted our situation more than I initially gave it credit for. Because when you brought Xavi Simons on, we immediately went to that 4-2-3-1, and then that essentially left Pape Sarr, Palhinha, and Bentancur to have to fight that midfield battle against Caicedo, James, and Enzo. And it's one of the best midfields in it's the best midfield in the Premier League.
The best midfield in the country, personally, I think, at the moment.
So maybe if we did go to a 4, I'm not saying that had we stuck with the 4-2-2-2 or the 4-1-2-1-2, I'm not saying necessarily that it would have been a different outcome because it's a different reality. Don't know. But my point was yesterday I said, there's no way you're going to convince me that Berghvall was that instrumental in the game plan, that his absence fucked everything up. But actually, maybe having to pivot back to a 4-2-3-1 did throw a little bit of the plan out the window.
I mean, look, for me, Xavi Simons has absolutely no physicality. I hear people say, oh, he gets stuck in. Yeah, he's feisty. Feisty and physicality are two different adjectives, right? And, Lucas Berghvall has got greater upper body strength than Xavi Simons. And I think the plan was for them to combat that physicality in the middle of the park. And that's where Lucas Berghvall comes in, getting stuck in, upper body strength, challenging Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, and Reece James, who I thought was fantastic, along with Caicedo. And when he went off and Xavi Simons came on, I mean, how many times did we see Xavi Simons just get bullied off the ball? I mean, he just got nudged off the ball by Reece James, just leant into him and he went down. Look, I think we can go on this for a long time. But I think at the end of the day, I think someone in the chat there, Billy T said we should have got Gibbs White. Gibbs White would have definitely been an asset there. He offered the physicality, good in the transitions.
Wolfie, though, mate. Wolfie, who watches Forest more than anyone else, thinks that Gibbs White is the most frustrating player in the world because he makes the difficult things look easy and the simple things look hard.
Well, his dog's still being held hostage, Sean. He's got the stress of that. And yes, Mr. Marinakis. Don't question Mr. Marinakis. Look, I think we said before this happened, Sean, if you find it on, the Spurs 5 or Football Inc., that if Spurs go and we have this really difficult stretch of 5 games and we come away with very few points, the fans are going to go into meltdown. They're going to be called in for Thomas Frank's head. Simple as that. And it looks like that's what's going to happen. It's as simple as that.
Quick 5 minutes, mate, on the other games today, shall we?
Yeah, do you want to do the super chats? Do the super chats.
Sorry, guys. Forgot about super chats. What do we get up to? We've done Toby one. Big up to you. Wesley Van Helden. Big up to you, my man. I think you're in Zimbabwe. Amazing. He says, I think most fans are Frank in.
Oh, that's Zaire, isn't it? Sorry.
What is this? They expect him to do better. We want to see a plan in games, and I see nothing. That's where I'm at, Wesley.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I'm at. Just show me what we're trying to achieve, other than not losing the game of football, and I'll be able to kind of back it. But at the moment, I just feel like it's not lose philosophy.
Can I say I would be far more scathing of Thomas Frank had we had a Kulu, a Maddison, and a Lookman and a fit players, more fit players. Not all the squad fit, but a stronger squad. And we were playing this bad. I would be on it like a ton of bricks, and I would be supporting it. I just find it really difficult to chastise it when I look at the crap we're having to deal with. Can you make a great cake, right, with Richalison, Tel, Johnson, and Odegaard currently? I don't think so, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, but only two of those people are playing, or three. One of those people are playing. Like we have got.
I have been playing quite a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm not subscribing to this notion that they're all dog shit, and I think that explains everything. I think it's a load of bollocks to me personally. Big up to you, Wesley. Thank you very much. Spurs OC, big up to you. Early for Spurs OC, but early from Orange County. He says, is Xavi the wrong size for the Premier League?
Could be. Is he a Brian Gill? Is he Brian Gill weight?
No.
I didn't say Brian Gill. I didn't say Brian Gill talent. I'm talking about Brian Gill weight.
He just needs to. I think he's fine. I think. Listen, I agree with you. There's a difference between feisty and strong, and he got bodied a couple of times yesterday. But his technique is class, and I think he's feisty as hell. I just think he needs to recognise that he has a second less time on the ball than he thinks he does at the moment. And these things, I think it's the same with Florian Wirtz. I think they just need to adapt and acclimate a little bit quicker than they are. Appreciate you, Spurs OC. Thank you very much. And Toby Kenobi's come back in with another super sticker. Choo-choo to you, Toby. Appreciate you very much, my man. I think this was the man who used to be called Fat. I'm about to say the wrong way around then. What was it? Cat Funt.
Cat Funt, yeah.
Cat Funt. Big up to you, Cat Funt. Appreciate you, my man. Johnny, what the games this afternoon? There's the games are starting now, aren't they?
Yeah, well, the big game, Rangers Celtic. Mikey Moore, watch out for him coming on in the second half and influencing the game. So I'm told by those that be. Spurs women are the Ho has got the hose working. The Spurs women's football team. He's got them playing really well.
Newcastle are already 1-0 up against West Ham after 2 minutes.
Yeah, Jacob Murphy.
Yeah.
To be sure, he should score twice.
They couldn't possibly sack Nuno, could they, mate?
Well, this is what I'm saying. What does he do with that crap? What does he do with that? I mean, they can't fight their way out of a paper bag. Spurs women beat Liverpool 2-1. I think that's a great game. Semi-final of the Scottish League Cup. Celtic Rangers. At Hampden Park should be a huge game, huge cup game. And then the other game is the huge game of the day, Sean, is Manchester City versus Bournemouth. What are you thinking on this one? 4:30.
Yeah, I think City win this one 3-1, mate. I think Bournemouth are a good team, very good team, but I think Manchester City are gonna get past them fairly comfortably, I'd imagine. Your thoughts?
The interesting thing is that they're going to come at Manchester City, are going to come at Bournemouth. And, I just think Bournemouth will get chances. I think Bournemouth will score. It's whether they can score, more. Interesting that Spurs have bought Mathys Tel and Odegaard from the French under-21. Yet El Krupi, who plays with them, can't stop scoring goals. Whose talent ID is better, Sean?
Bournemouth at the moment. But but if El Krupi was playing in Tottenham, would he be doing the same thing? Would the system be playing to his strengths? Would he be? This is like Solanke banged in 25 goals for Bournemouth, and he comes to Tottenham. I didn't think he had a bad season in his first year, but it wasn't the same version. It wasn't the same super confident version of himself, was it? So
he didn't play. He didn't play to his strength. If you're going to sign a player, not going back to Mikey Moore again at Rangers, but the previous manager hadn't done his homework. He's brought him in and playing him out of position. Roll has done his research, worked out and said he knows where it's best to play him. So you can't chastise a player. And there's another thing, Rangers fans blaming an 18-year-old who's coming on loan for the demise of Glasgow Rangers, not blaming the seasoned professionals that have been there years or the manager at the time. And that's what we do. Actually, there's one big game tonight, Shawnee, at 5:30. Barcelona versus your boys Elche.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Might do a live stream over on Football Inc. Might do a little watch along.
Barcelona versus Elche, whereas my team, unfortunately, last night, Cremonese at home, just looking to stay up in the league. We went down 2-1 at home to Juventus. Not an embarrassing score at all. And Jamie Vardy scored again. Great goal. And he's a cult hero down there, Sean.
Yeah, he's the Scott McTominay of Cremonese.
He is. Hang on 1 second.
All right, no worries. Listen, no, not a live stream of the game, a watch along, Jordan. I might do a watch along. Can't do live streams, mate. I don't have that level. I'm not the Mark Goldbridge level yet. One day. By the time I'm 75, I might be able to get myself some Elche streaming levels, but it's not there yet. Yeah, listen, guys. In Johnny's absence, he's back. I just want to say my take to that. He fucked off the stream to go and get himself his shirt.
Yeah. Well, there we go, boys. This is how serious we take it at Football Inc. Yeah, our teams, mate. I've got every single one of our teams' shirts that I've had to support, and this was straight out. Oh, there we go. Dybala. Yeah, what have you got there? Vuskovic. No.
And
Hamburg.
Königsdorfer. Yeah, we love it. We love it over on Football Inc. If you guys want to join into the fun on supporting some second teams and talking about all things football, you can find us over on Football Inc. Here is the link. Please do, if you are watching this on the Spurs Talk Show, please do just grab that link, open up, press the button, click a link. And subscribe button. It's good fun over on Football Inc. Every day we go around lunchtime sometime between 1 and 3 o'clock usually.
Can always catch up. You can watch the catch-up show. We've got some great ideas coming up. We're going to have Clown of the Week, where we choose, three clowns of the week and let you guys choose who you think should be Clown of the Week. We've also good sort of Would I Lie to You, where we're going to tell you a football story.
I've found some unbelievable stories about football that you would imagine are absolute bullshit, but they're not. They're true. And I've also found some unbelievable stories that are nothing like the truth that would sound like they could happen. So I'm going to be absolutely destroying you guys in the game of Would I Lie to You?
So that's another show that we've got planned for you, which should be good fun. So if you fancy a bit of a laugh and love football, not just Tottenham, then follow us on Football Inc. I think it's about it.
We'll leave it there. Yeah. Appreciate you all. Please do like, subscribe, and comment. Penalty for West Ham, by the way. Penalty for West Ham. Interesting. Get over to Football Inc. and smash the subscribe. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe on the Spurs Talk Show as well. Smash the likes on both. And guys, we will see you tomorrow on Spurs Talk Show. You might see me later on this evening. And if you are also interested in conspiracy stuff, then look up Rabbit Hole Ramblings, new channel for Sean and Nikos and Eugene. We're mucking around over there. Johnny's going to come and join us at some point as well. And,
I was talking about him. Yeah.
We're all over it. Guys, we'll leave it there. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from him.
I mixed up the exits then.
Bye.
Bye.